Hi, Mrs. Hockenberry's class. We're going to do a quick tutorial on how to use numbers and input some data and get a chart out of it. And so that we're going to start with the app. So on your iPads you'll want to find this app, this green app with a graph on it, and open up numbers. And then we want to start with a new spreadsheet. At any point you can pause this video if I'm moving too fast, or go ahead and drag and fast forward it if I'm moving too slowly for you. But we're going to create a new spreadsheet, and what you'll notice, it'll look a little bit like Sheets for Google Sheets, because it'll give you a chart. We want to get rid of that chart. So to get rid of that, you go up and tap on the circle on the upper left hand side. It will highlight the whole chart, and we want to delete it because we want to add a different one. And to add a different one, we're going to go up here to the icon of a chart, click it, and then we're going to choose whatever color you want, but choose this type. So it's the same header row, and all of the columns are the same below the header row. Now it's real easy inside of numbers to determine how many columns you want and how many rows you want. All you have to do is click, hold, and drag. We're going to turn this into 2 columns, and then I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And then on the other side, for the rows, we'll click, hold, and drag. We'll just say 6 for now. And now we're going to enter some data so that we can make a graph, a line graph out of it. So in the top, we're going to put distance, or whatever measure you're going to want to do. And then in the top of the second column, we're going to put time. And then we're going to add in some data. Great. Now that we have our data entered for our distance and time, I want all of this to turn into a graph for us, a line graph. So if I click here and then click up top in that circle again, I have the whole thing highlighted for me. Then I want to turn it into some kind of chart. I'm going to click this, and for you guys, for your sake, I know that Mrs. Hockenberry says line graph, so that seems to be the obvious one, but instead we're going to choose this one. So now it creates this graph for us, this scatter plot, but first thing we need to do is connect these. We know that Mrs. Hockenberry will want you to have a line going through, so anytime you want to change anything, you first highlight it, and then you click the paintbrush. And once you click the paintbrush, I want the style of this thing to change, and so I click Style, and here are all the dots connected. Great, so now we have a pretty good line graph going, but there's some things that I noticed. I noticed that our axes aren't labeled, so let's do that. So here we are under Style and Labels, and we want the axis name to turn on. Now we know that if I double click on this, I can switch this one to distance, and this one to time. Great. So now we've created a table, entered the data, and created a line graph to match the data. Now you have lots of other things to be adding to this numbers document for Mrs. Hockenberry. One of the things you can do is you can get another whole blank sheet that you can then work on and add things to and be as creative as you want. And so here in the upper left, if you click the plus sign and click New Sheet, now we have a blank sheet. Now it has this table going again, but we want to get rid of that. I'm just going to show you a couple of quick things. So I'm going to click up on the circle again. I'm going to hit delete. And now I can enter anything I like. And just about anything you can do in Pages and Keynote, you can also do here in Numbers. So if I go up here to the landscape photo, I can add a photo or video. So if you have to do some kind of video recording of yourself explaining your data, you can do it there. You can also have pictures. You can record your voice. So if you don't want a video of yourself explaining it, you can click here and record your voice. If you have multiple pictures, you can put a image gallery. You can also do your own drawing. So if there's a drawing that you want to add to represent all of the things that you did with your data, you can add that. And then finally, since you are in math class, you can also add an equation. One final piece is right next to the landscape, you can also add shapes. Apple has put into all of these tools thousands and thousands of shapes that you can use and search for just by hitting the magnifying glass. So if there are some math symbols that I might want, if there is a chart symbol that I might want, you can add shapes, you can add video, you can add audio, you can add a photo. Have fun with this. Good luck. Thanks.